Molweni Bafundi, video 16 of this series, and still sticking with the city councillor, we are going to look at how changes in words bring about changes in meaning. So there's nothing really untoward in this first section, and here we read, Molweni igama lam ngubaliswa Dlamini, ndinguceba wewodi, ndililungu lombutho we-ANC, nothing untoward there. Imibutho exhasayo yi-DA ne-EFF, ndanyulwa, and we'll notice now that I was elected, that is past tense, a form of the past tense which we haven't discussed yet, but in module 4 of this level 3, we come across the two forms of the past tense, and this is the form that is used when narrating an incident or telling a story about something that happened a long time ago. But module 4 of this level will tell you all about that. Anyway, ndanyulwa, I was elected, and there we see nyulwa, to be elected, derived from the verb nyula, to elect, and then just for interest's sake, the noun unyulo, for an election. Umsebenzi wami mninzi kuba zininzi izinto ezingalunganga kwesi sixeko, lots of things that are not as they should be in this city. Ngoko kufuneka ndilwele, we've had this before, the use of kufuneka, meaning it is necessary, implies that something must be done and that I have to fight for, and there's the E ending that follows, and now the ukuba also plays its part, so I have to fight in order that those things be fixed, be rectified. So ukuba is followed by the verb ending on e. Xa unguceba, kufuneka uye, kufuneka again, you have to go, you have to attend. Ezinhlanganisweni ezininzi. Yonke imihla uya kundifumana, you will find me enhlanganisweni, kusasa, emva kwedinala, nasebusuku. Zonke iinhlanganiso zine agenda. Ingxoxo zilawulwa, the discussions are regulated or controlled. So lawulwa, as we see here, means to be controlled, derived from the verb lawula, to control. Siyaphikisana kakhulu ezinhlanganisweni, kodwa yinto yezopolitiko leyo, those are political issues. Thina sonke sinezimvo zethu, we have our opinions ngendlela of the ways of sombululo, of solving or rectifying these problems. But now these problems zidweliswe ngezansi. These problems are listed below. So dwelisa is to list, dweliswa to be listed, and of course the past tense is there because, or the E rather is there because they have been listed. There's a past tense implied here. Right, so all we can really see is then when the verb changes from its original form to something which is done or to be done, we find that the W is included before the final A. And this will be discussed in detail in module 4 of level 3. Here we see ukusetyenziswa, the being used or the being abused of drugs. A little bit further down we will discuss how we arrive at setyenziswa. But there again you see the W, which we spoke about earlier. Zinga sonjululwa njani ezi zinto. There we see another verb with the W, sonjululwa, to be solved. We will have a look at this verb now shortly. Kufuneka siye entsusweni. Again, there's kufuneka followed by the verb ending on E. We have to go to the root cause. Kule mihla baninzi abantu abangaphangeliyo kunye nabantwana abangafundiyo. Ngoko, and so therefore, kufuneka ngoko ndilwela ukuba, I fight in order that amashishini avule. So there's the use of ukuba, meaning that, followed by the verb ending on e. And I encourage. So here's another verb ending on e, and in the translation we see and encourage parents to send their children to school. So these verbs ending on e, again as I've mentioned before, are discussed in the video 12 of module 4. I beg your pardon, module 3, the next module in fact that we will be looking at. And there we see the verb sombulula, sombulula to solve, which becomes sonjululwa, to be solved. Now these sound changes which you see here are sound changes which I mentioned in module 4 of level 2, and you were told that you would come back to these at a later stage, where the MB becomes an NJ. So go and have a look at the section on locality, where you will see these sound changes in module 4 of level 2. Inani lengozi ezindleleni zethu alamkelekanga. The number of accidents on our roads is unacceptable and mainly caused by the e-taxi. Why? Because abaqhubi, the drivers, abayihoya, to take heed or notice of. But here's a word that needs some discussion. How can these issues be, or accidents be, reduced? Nchiswa. Now, nchiswa, to be reduced, is derived from ncipisa, to be reduced, and that is another example of the sound changes I mentioned earlier on with sombulula, which becomes sonjululwa. So these problems can be solved by employing ngokuqesha amagosa endlela, and by ukufundisa, by teaching abantwana bethu, our children, kunye, as well as the society in general, about the rules of the road. Umgangatho wendlela zethu umbi, the condition of our roads is bad because of the many imingxuma, the holes, and therefore here's Luela, I fight in order that these roads be repaired or improved. So there again we have two examples of the use of this W and how it changes the meaning of the word. So lungisa, fix or mend or repair. Lungiswa, be fixed, mended or repaired. Pucula, improve. Puculwa, to be improved. Ezokhenketho, tourism. We mentioned here that iBhayi linendawo ezininzi ezinomtsalane, many attractive places in Port Elizabeth for our abakhenketi, for our guests or tourists who come from eMelika, Engilani, nase Europe, come from those various countries. And they are important people because bangenisa imali, they bring in a lot of money esixekweni sethu, to our city. And for that reason, kufuneka siba kusele. Now we've had many examples now of kufuneka, always followed by a verb ending on e, and the translation is, of course, that something must be done. Jikelele, general, kufuneka sifundise, we must teach our citizens ukuba mabangalahli Okay, this is an example of the negative form of the verb ending on e. We have had a few examples where this ma has been used. The shop assistant said, "Mandi kubonise, let me show you some shoes." Right? So the negative, this is an example of the negative, and the negative is fully discussed in video 13 of module 3. In fact, your next module. So this is something that should not be done. And here you see mayisetyenziswe, the bins which must be used. Must be used. There you see the W. So this is from the verb sebenzisa, where again a sound change has come about. Setyenziswa. The B has become a TY. And as I mentioned before, this is fully explained to you in the final module of this level that you are on at the moment. So it's 2 modules to go. Kufuneka sibambisane. We have to pull together. Again, we have many examples of kufuneka where something has to be done. And that is basically how the story concludes. With Ndiyabona ke bafundi, you can see then, students, that ndingumntu osebenza kakhulu, I'm someone who works hard, but I like it, ndiyawuthanda umsebenzi wam, because it is satisfying. Good, so there will be a number of online exercises and giving you opportunities to apply the knowledge now that you have gained in this series of videos. Inkosi kakhulu bafundi. So